A ride that started with a pickup in Boston, police say ended with an assault in Cambridge. Tonight, a 46-year-old Boston man facing charges of rape and kidnapping.
Now I do since I heard of the incident, but before I thought it was pretty safe.
An Uber spokesperson calls the alleged crime despicable. He says the company is fully cooperating with police.
All right, Uber, the ride-sharing service. Ballyhooed is a godsend for those seeking to save a few bucks and get around town with ease. But the service is now involved in a Boston rape case and a lawsuit in Portland, Oregon. Whither the future then of Uber? This and much more automotive. Welcome back to National, the syndicated car coach who is so savvy about everything on wheels that she would have nipped the Edsel in the bud before the first one ever came off the assembly line. She would have known. Lauren Fix joins us again. Hi, Lauren.
Yeah, I don't think I would have let that one go by, but thanks, Ed. I'm glad to be back, as always.
Yeah, just the grill itself, I think, would have set me off and said, that's an ugly car. We got to get rid of that. You know,
they're collectible now, I guess.
yeah, that's if we could just find that in a Tucker, we'd all be just fine from there.
Tuckers are worth huge money, but yeah.
We got to talk about that one day. Let's talk about Uber here, because they've got this case now in Boston. Portland, Oregon, they're now going to drive out of Portland for a while, I guess, because of a lawsuit that they're facing there. Is Uber just now, is this growing pains, or was this a badly conceived idea to begin with that we're just now finding out a lot of the mistakes that could be made?
Well, I live part-time in New York City, and sometimes getting a cab is almost impossible. When I have to head to the airport and it's 4 in the morning, I'm not standing on the corner. I contact Uber. So Uber makes sense for a lot of us, especially when it's raining. They do charge a premium. I think it's an excellent business model. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of other ones. Click Car just came up here. We've got like 5 or 6 other ones. The secret is that the cab drivers don't like it because their bosses who own the medallions who paid millions of dollars for them don't like it. I've even used Uber Rush. So I'm a huge fan of Uber. Uber Rush is when you have to deliver a package in the city. You just hand it to a guy on a bike. You can track it on your phone. Love it. However, the big problem I see is that they absolutely need to start doing better background checks. This is a huge growing pain issue. And you know, in my head, every time I get into a cab or get into a car service, you think, didn't your mother tell you not to get into cars with strangers? You don't know these guys. They could take you anywhere. And so you have to assume, and it's a bad assumption, I guess, as your mother would say, you know, these guys have had their backgrounds checked.
Well, that's what people need to understand here, don't they? That these are these Uber vehicles, these are not professional drivers. This is
they are. They actually do.
All of them are professionals, because I was under the assumption that there were some of them there that were private individuals.
No, Lyft uses private individuals,
Okay.
but Uber uses, actually all the vehicles, at least here in the city, all have the proper plate. It's like TNCL or something like that, but it's actually taxi cab and license commission. They have to be. So, but the guys that I've talked to, and I talk to all of them because I love to hear what their thoughts are, they say they make more money. So it makes more sense, makes more money than they are as a private car service.
But they are still now going to have to dig a little bit deeper, as you said, into background checks, because don't you agree that this is going to start, what's happening in Portland and Boston are going to make people think twice maybe about their personal safety. And that's the most important thing when you get in a car for hire.
Right, and Vegas already booted Uber out because the cab drivers have that strong of a union. So remember, this is a union thing also that's also in the mix, so we have to keep that in mind. I actually like Uber. I think it's a great idea. And some of the other car services, there's a better way to get around town. And you know what? They're going to get you there the fastest way. I've had cab drivers take me the wrong way and had to call the taxi cab commission. And I'm not afraid to do that.
Yeah, I grew up in New York City. I still don't trust cab drivers. They wouldn't want me to say that out loud.
Uber would be the thing to do then.
There you go. I'm going to have to remember that next time I'm in the city. All right. Almost the end of the year here. Gas prices are now below $2.50 a gallon in some places. Year-end auto sales are up. Hey, this looks like a banner year for auto sales in America.
Yeah, they're looking at into the trillions of dollars for total sales at the end of the year. We'll know that in the next 2 weeks, but it looks like banner years again. New product on the market, and hey, in some areas of this country, we're seeing gas prices below $2. There's actually a price war going on in Texas. I think it's like Kenner, Texas, where they're having a fight. They're like $1.93 a gallon. Good for all of us. But what happens is then we think, you know what? I really did need a new pickup truck, so I'm going to go buy the new F-150 or go buy that new SUV. And so when you start doing that, that means that these people are really it's helping the auto industry, which helps all of us as consumers. They're purchasing gas, which means they're spending money. It's good for taxes. It's good for everybody. So I think lower gas prices should make everybody happy. It's a good Christmas gift.
All right, speaking of Christmas gifts, if you want to get somebody an app for their phone, this might be an interesting idea. You wrote about this recently on the Car Coach Reports. In Iowa, an app where you can now see the driver's license. I don't know why, but you brought up a good point in this. Cop wants to see my driver's license. I hand her my phone, and she takes it back to the car. I'm not so sure I would be quite good with that.
Well, then she could come back and say, hey, Ed, I saw you were texting. I did get your driver's license and your insurance card on that app. Yes, it's super secure. But you know what? It's funny. We now can sync that up. We can plug that in. I don't even need your password or your thumbprint if you're using an Apple phone. And you know what? It looks like you were texting or you took a phone call. That's why you were speeding. So guess what? You get an extra ticket. So you know what? This is the problem. I don't hand my phone to anyone. I have it locked down. You have to cut my thumb off in order to hit that thumbprint to open it. And that's kind of, which I hope doesn't happen. But I don't. As do we. Yeah. Well, some of this security stuff, convenience. I use Apple Pay, and I think it's a great convenience. But because many times you go to the gym and you want a cup of coffee or something afterwards, but I'm not putting my driver's license on my phone. If the phone gets missing, someone's got your ID.
Well, that's the other thing, too, that we talk about, because how many people basically misplace their phone, all of a sudden they're lost. Your phone is sitting there, somebody cracks it. They now have your driver's license. That in itself scares the dickens.
Right, and there's enough systems out there that you can plug in the phone to someone's computer and drag all the information off of it. Maybe I don't want the phone. Maybe I'll end up selling it at a hawk shop. You could leave that phone anywhere. They're stolen all the time. I've seen them removed at airports, at restaurants. I leave mine on the table, but I always have my hand nearby. People get their phones and their wallets and get pickpocketed on a regular basis. And with the economy being what it is, there are a lot of people that are doing it.
30 seconds left here. I saw this headline. That electric car may not be as green as you think. Ooh, some people don't want to see that out loud, do they?
Yes, I know. I'll get all the haters that'll email and tweet me. But the fact is, no one's thinking about a couple things. Where's the electricity coming from? Coal in many cases. Yes, if we had nuclear power plants, it would make more sense. But the fact is, these batteries at some point will be completely depleted, and there's no place to put it. You're not going to ship it to the moon. You're not going to put it into the ocean. You're not going to bury it in the ground. And to this date, there is no solution for all those unused batteries. And that doesn't make it green either. You know what? I keep saying this. Diesel's the answer. Look, they're doing it in Europe. And the only reason diesel is expensive here in some states is because the oil refiners are making more money shipping it over to Europe. And it's all about politics as usual.
Learn about all this by going to laurenfix.com. That's where the car coach is. You can read her car coach reports right there and find out everything that we know. Well, not everything, but we'll just give you a quick instance there as well. Lauren, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas to you and the family. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Same to you and your family as well.
Thank you. Take care. We are watching the nation's capital, where President Obama is preparing to speak to the nation and answer questions about the cyber war with North Korea. We'll go there live to the presser when it begins on MidPoint.